Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and today we're going to be looking at this new browser that I just found out on Twitter. It's called Strawberry browser, right? And the reason why I found out about it is that the founder of Lovable on his X account posted this, another cracked Swedish founder. So I watched this video, I watched what Charles was saying, and it got me curious about Strawberry browser, right? So I opened up the link that was in his profile. It took me over here to Product Hunt, right? I read a little bit about it, saw this video, which was great. I totally recommend you watch this. And yeah, decided to visit this link. And with that, you can just download it here to your Mac. And once you download it, you come up with this. They basically prompt you to do this little setup, this little step-by-step tutorial that basically guides you on the different capabilities that are available with Strawberry, right? So it says, welcome to Strawberry. Click on next. Your personal AI assistant is called Laura. So right here, this is Laura. And it's pretty cool because as I move my mouse, Laura is like looking at the direction of my mouse, right? So it gives it a little bit of life, I would say. So you can open the chat, right? So I can just close this or I can open it, and Laura can memorize important information. So you can tell Laura, like, Laura, memorize that my name is Lucas, right? So I put that at the very beginning. So right here, you can just copy this, put this here, and then just in order to see that, you can go over here to companion settings, I believe. Yeah, and then over here you see memories. This user's name is Lucas, right? And you can also add skills. For example, if you click on plus, teach new skill, right? You can basically give the skill a name, which this is something that we're going to be doing soon with Lovable, right? Because we want to kind of use this tool together to build something great and lovable, right? So we can call it like Lovable Teacher and share specific docs so that it can kind of know how to prompt using Lovable, right? And yeah, so basically you can just share that. It's basically like a knowledge hub, right? And you can add new companions, right? So we have Laura, but you can also add different types of companions. We can check them out over here. So companions and skills, you can click on new, and then you can see that there's different like faces, but I do know that they have like different types of functionality, right? So I think if we go to Strawberry, search Strawberry browser. Oh my God, my spelling, Strawberry browser. Click over here. You can scroll down here. Yes, right here. So competition Camila performs competition analysis by researching potential competitors online after analyzing your own business. So there's data extraction, which is pretty cool. Also, working with Lovable. LinkedIn Linus, right? So LinkedIn assists with LinkedIn tasks like finding hires, leads, writing posts, newsletter Null, webmaster William. I think for all of these we can create some really cool videos as use cases, but just wanted to give you like a little short intro to all of these different AI agents. So it's basically a browser where you have little AI agents working for you, like little interns that you can teach it stuff. It can recognize what you're doing. It can see your different tabs, right? So it's a like a robots or little robots in your browser. So going back here to the initial setup, right? It can memorize things. We can click on next. It can see things and basically create, organize something or create a task based on what they're seeing. So they're seeing this information, and then you can say create a table with only the names and links, right? So here there's a specific link. Here's a name. Here's a position or role and the description, right? And then it creates basically a table from that. After that, Laura can help you research hundreds of pages in parallel. So research the fake profiles and give me a summary of their experience. And so research the fake. So you can basically just copy this, paste this over here, and it can research hundreds of different results based on these names, which is pretty interesting. All right, so let's start from scratch. Let's go over here And let's try to add a new companion. And let's make this companion a webmaster William. I guess it's this one. I don't know if that basically makes any sense to I guess we can add this later. So model provider, okay. And then we can choose, for example, Anthropic from Claude. And we can say lovable expert. And we can give it some instructions. So enter instruction for this companion. You are a expert lovable prompter, right? We can give it a new skill, teach a new skill, call it lovable prompting 101, right? And here we can just basically look for these lovable prompting docs. So prompt engineering right here. I guess this is, there's this one, right? This was a little bit better. So prompting 1.1, and we can use this as the first one. So this, we can call this one actually prompting 1.1. And detailed instructions, we can give it like we can give it this right here. Prompt structure, levels of prompting, become an expert in. So let's just do that, create skill. And you can also like record your screen, I guess, and just scroll down like this, which is pretty interesting. We can add a new skill, like, I mean, we have prompt library. You can give it that. So let's just go teach new skill. Let's just write prompt library. Give it this new URL. Create skill. Okay, instructions required. List of prompting strategies and expert in prompting strategies and approaches. I think this is fine for now. Let's just create the skill. I guess we can only create one. So I'm just gonna choose this one, right? I thought we can choose multiple ones, but it's fine. We can only choose one. And then let's click on create. So we have this lovable expert, and then we are here in the lovable expert. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to open this, and we want to start building with our little expert agent. So the first thing that I want to try out is I want to find a landing page, like for example, stripe.com, or there was this one that I really like called clay.com. I think it was clay.com. Yeah. So I want to build a SaaS landing page that kind of looks like this in terms of color, in terms of structure, right? So maybe it would be cool to give this lovable expert this tab as a reference and ask it to create a prompt based on this specific tab. So let's try to do that. So what we want to do is go here, click on context, click on this clay tab and say, so now it kind of understands the instructions, what it has to do, because it has its knowledge base, basically pointing to this prompt library or prompting 1.1 documentation from Lovable, right? So let's say using this tab as a reference, clay.com, write me a detailed prompt for a SaaS landing page that has a very similar style to clay.com. Write me a detailed prompt or lovable prompt. Let's write lovable prompt for a SaaS landing page that has a very similar style to clay. Okay. Click on period. Let's click on submit. So it's very interesting because it starts off saying, let me first read the full content of the page to ensure I capture all the relevant details. So it reads the page. Create a modern, sophisticated SaaS landing page with the following key elements. So hero section, social proof, main features, design elements, use a clean minimalist design with ample white space, implement subtle gradients, gradient backgrounds, include floating 3D icons. For features, use modern sans serif. So that's basically all, related to this, right? So I do see some gradients here and there. I would like it to please state the types of colors, right? Please mention the colors that clay.com is using and add it to the prompt. Click on enter, and then we scroll downwards and it says pondering, contemplating. Okay, now it's starting to do it again. So now we get these colors, right? So it says warm yellow, turquoise, right? We're starting to get something good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this and copy this, right? All the way until it ends, which is over here. Paste it over here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to look for design elements. So this is what we need to replace, right? We're going to replace it with this. Copy. And paste. And now comes the fun part. Let's see about this, what it produces, right? So we have this very big prompt, trained with the prompting documentation from Lovable. And now let's see, what we get in the results. Okay, so this is the Clay website. And if we go back here, you can see that it built something, but it's not really quite like the Clay website. It does look interesting. It uses this yellow and turquoise and this blue color, right? Which is something that we see it in the logo over here, but not really throughout the page. But that's okay. I mean, these are we just want to see how this looks like, right? We scroll down, we get this hero section, we get this testimonials, we have these data points over here. We can see we only have a hero section over here. We do have these kind of like data points, but it's part of the description. And we do have these kind of testimonial logos or partner logos underneath the hero section, which is quite good, right? And this was a very vague prompt in terms of what it's trying to build, right? Lovable is usually building apps and not landing pages. Your data actionable at every level. So it features, right? Feature 1, we have capabilities. So if we go over here, we have this main thing here, and then we have 3 features, right? Down here. And then we have also like something like capabilities over here. Then we scroll downwards, we have a testimonials section. I don't think that they have one. Oh yeah, they have one all the way down here. So I mean, it's very different, but it has some similarities, right? And then we do have a pricing section, or we don't have a pricing section in the homepage. We have it over here on the top. And maybe the AI here kind of looked at this nav bar, but it's, interesting to see how this works, right? And then at the end, we have the call to action and then the footer. So let's move on from landing pages and let's actually look at web apps, right? So we can go to producthunt.com and look at some products that are out here that look interesting. I see this one might be pretty cool to do something about this, but I also saw this one, SimplyWrite, a clean, beautiful, and minimalist browser-based writing tool for distraction-free writing. No signups, no logins, no ads, just you and your words. Okay, and we have some screenshots, and they do have a homepage. So, so what I want to try to do is I want to basically go into Lovable, and I want to remove these, and I actually want to start a new chat with our Lovable expert. And I basically, what I want to do is I want to give it this tab as a reference and then ask it to research competitors and create a prompt that kind of has 3 unique USPs, that these competitors don't have, right? So I'm going to ask it to use its brain a little bit and then to create a prompt, and then we can create that in Lovable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to context, click plus, click on the SimplyWrite, and I'm going to say, can you research 10 competitors similar to, or let's say, can you research 10 competitors to SimplyWrite, and what are some potential and if we were to make our own competitor in Lovable, what are 3 potential USPs we can think of that the competitors might not have, right? Let's click enter and let's see. So it's thinking, pondering, 3 seconds. I'll help you. So it's very fast. I'll help you research competitors. So SimplyWrite and analyze potential unique selling propositions. Let me start by using the research agent to gather comprehensive information about various AI writing tools. And so it's stopping. I guess it's using this research agent. Let's see. Okay, and it basically gave us a few results, right? Grammarly, Hemingway editor, Pro Writing Aid, Quillbot, Write Sonic. So all of these different things that might be potential competitors to SimplyWrite. And as it takes its time to research, you can go ahead and we can click on one of these. So let's click on this Hemingway editor, right? Click on see steps. And then you can see that there are different research steps, right? So we can click on research step 1. You are assigned to conduct deep, comprehensive research on the Hemingway editing writing tool. The goal is to collect detailed information. So you can read all of these instructions that the AI is giving itself, right? So pricing, target audience, unique selling points. And yeah, this is what's basically, taking some time to do. So the Hemingway editor website offers 2 main products. So it's basically like scraping these websites and using AI to kind of understand everything and eventually give us a good result and a good idea to work with when creating an app. And basically, as it researches, you can see how it basically continues to create these little tabs down here. And I mean, it just disappeared, but it also creates tabs up here, which it basically researches by itself, and you can see what it's looking at, right? So yeah, it's a very interesting process of how it gets done. So up here you can see AI tabs. We can see that it is kind of looking at something. Okay, and it's looking at these things over here. And while this thing loads, I can see that it's actually looking at user reviews from this website that we just visited, right? So you can see all of these different reviews. So that's actually a pretty smart thing to look at. Some of them are going to be pretty good, but some of them yeah, you can see here there's like a problem, too expensive, right? Um, Complains about low limits, outdated models, lack of undo button, poor text editor. So it's, you can already start seeing that it's, you know, trying to understand the problems from the competitors and actually create something useful to build in Lovable. And now after about like 10 minutes of actually analyzing everything, it came up with a prompt, right? So it says, create an AI writing assistant that revolutionizes content creation by addressing the following key requirements. Build a privacy first adaptive AI writing platform that combines the power of both large and small language models to deliver consistent, high quality content while maintaining data security and user privacy. It should seamlessly integrate into existing workflows while offering unique capabilities that current tools lack. So, okay, interesting. So it basically got this data from all of these different reviews. Let's just try and see and copy this and paste this into Lovable and see what we get, right? We have to also wait a little bit in Lovable because Lovable also takes its time, about 5 minutes, to actually cook something up. All right, and after about, I would say, 10 minutes of waiting for this to be finished, right? We did get an error. I fixed it with the fix button that Lovable provides us with, and we got something called Content DNA. We have a nice dashboard here. It says Welcome to Content DNA, recent projects, favorites, all projects, right? You can create a new one, right? And then here's where you can write stuff. And then there's a Content DNA active feature, which we can read about eventually, but basically what it is it's a new feature that we have that the browser actually came up with, right? So we have created content DNA system that maintains consistent brand voices across all outputs, whatever that means, right? There was another thing about that somewhere in this, but what we can do is we can ask, what is the whole idea of content DNA, right? So basically, he is your developer, and you can just ask him some questions, right? So that we have this content DNA, right? We can ask the AI assistant to help you write, generate, help me fix my sentence, right? And basically generate that, and then basically something, and then at the same time we can read what our developer is saying, which is, let me explain the innovative concept of content DNA that I proposed. It is a system that would solve one of the biggest pain points found in our research: inconsistent tone, style, and brand voice across different pieces of content, even when using the same AI writing tool. Okay, interesting. So you can read more about it here, but basically this is one of the USPs that the browser came up with. So we have the projects, we have the editor, which is basically where we create a project. We have different style guides for different tones, right? For marketing, for press releases. There's templates, content DNA, right? This is where we can create our brand identity. I guess this is something that Jasper, for example, has. Style rules, content samples, knowledge base, right? We can give it a knowledge base like we gave our Lovable expert a knowledge base, and we can look at different types of AI models. So this is like a nice, you know, uh, facade of an app that we have. There's a bunch of stuff that we probably have to connect here and there, like API keys, as you can see over here, and integrations. But this is great. I mean, this is all something that was built in about 20, 30 minutes. I would say about 20 minutes of AI doing its research, and then Lovable actually building and going back and forth, right? So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's something very, very new. I'm excited to see what you guys built with this mix of Strawberry and Lovable. Very funny names, right? Strawberry and Lovable. I built this, this is a great, starting point, right? There's also this cloud model, right? This is all basically built on this browser looking at reviews on hundreds of different websites and coming up with hypotheses based on these reviews and giving that to the prompt that it kind of um, it kind of knows, because it knows this prompt library or this prompting 1.1 tab, right? It creates this perfect prompt and then uses Lovable to create this, right? So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. And thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.